So in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about how to go about creating your family tree. So a big goal that I have for myself this year is to trace my family tree. I want to put all those puzzle pieces together so I can have a big picture. My family starting with me, going to my parents, going to my grandparents, their parents, and so on. I want to be able to tell that story just so I can know, what did my family members do? Where did they live at? Where did they come from? I want to know everything and all the details. So in today's video, I want to share with you my process of tracking my family history, what I'm doing to gather information, and hopefully I have some tips and advice that may help you as well. So first off, my first step in this process was going and writing down everything that I knew personally. So this information will come from stories that I've heard over the years, my understanding of who my family members are, just writing all that information down so I have a base knowledge of somewhere to start. So what do I know about my family? Writing that down and documenting that. Next up, once I've had all the details from my own mind and my own recollection, my next step is to go to my family members. So asking my parents, what information do they know? Going to my grandparents, or going to any living relative that is willing to talk and share information. Now, this can be challenging because, in families, everybody go through or have a story. They go through their own traumas. You have family secrets. People are trying to withhold information, or people are telling things simply from their perspective, from the life that they lived, and sometimes that may be altered. And sometimes people simply don't know. They just don't know who their family members are. So that can be challenging. But even in that, you can still gather some information, and it's just a good basis. Okay, one person said this, another person said this. At least I have both stories so that when I'm actually doing the research, I have something to refer back to give me some clarity. So even though this information may not be totally correct, it could still give some insight later down the line when you need just the extra oomph to put the puzzle pieces together. Okay, so once you've started your interviews, you feel like you had a good amount of interviews, mom, your dad, grandma, granddad. Next, you want to go ahead, and I like to use free resources. So I think a great stop is the library, because the library documents so much. In the library, they have books about genealogy. They have books about creating your own family tree. They allow you to access different databases. They have newspaper sections. They have local history sections based on where you are. So where I am, I'm in Maryland. So the library branch I like to use is Enid Pratt Free Library. So I actually picked up some books here to help me get started on my journey. Here are a few books that I was able to pick up. So I have Producing a Quality Family History, Black Genealogy, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Genealogy, Genealogy for Dummies, How to Do Everything Genealogy, Genealogical Research on the Web. So these are still some good books, and they had plenty more books that I can go and I can access. So I think that was a good step for me just to, expand my knowledge on, okay, how do other people do that research? What am I missing? What are some good tools that I can tap into to help me put my own story together? In addition to that, the library is a great starting point after you do your interviews, because they have plenty of other resources other than books. At my library, which is called the Maryland Department. And in the Maryland Department, they actually have a genealogy section with some resources. So they have these print documents that will help me as I go further on researching my own history. So this first document they have, it's called Genealogy Family History Resources at Pratt State Library Resource Center, an overview. So this is just an overview of the different resources that they have put together, their in-house researchers and things of that nature they put this information together to help you on your journey. So this just tells you about the different departments in the library that can actually help you with your research. So at my local library, they have the African American department, they have the Maryland department, they have the periodicals department, they have the social science and history department, and then they also have databases with a specific database for research. So on this sheet here, you can just go look through it and find the resources that you need to help you with your research. So this is a good document for helping you locate, those different resources. Okay, next up, they have another document called Resources Available in the Maryland Department. So this is a further breakdown from that first document. So the first document was sort of, okay, if you're coming to this library, where do you need to go? And that's on that document. Then this document is, okay, so we have this department that's focused on genealogy. So while you're in this department, what are the resources that we have? So the Maryland Department, they have book collections, they have periodicals, they have Maryland State documents, genealogical resources, indexes, special files, map collections, primary source materials, a whole bunch of resources that is readily available for our use. Next up, they have another document that's titled Conducting Genealogical Research in the Maryland Department. So it's like, okay, if you're new to this, where can you start? How can you start your own research? So, of course, that suggestion is starting with books, statewide, county, special indexes, newspapers, biographies, directories, map. They actually have a little map that shows you some genealogical points of interest in Baltimore. So you can tap into that to get some more information that may be helpful to you. All right, so after you went to the library and you tap into those resources, the next place that I like to go to is the online databases. So which really helped me, easily put those pieces together was I was able to utilize Ancestry.com, and they had a 14-day free trial that I took advantage of. And just utilizing that 14-day free trial, I was able to get so many different names and just plug in my own information. On Ancestry.com, they allow you to access different census data, death certificates, birth certificates, marriage certificates, all things like that, which will give you the names. And they also have like hints, so you go click on the hints, you go through the hints and see if it apply. If it don't apply, if it apply, click yes, and they will just insert all the information. So a great easy way to get all the information in one location, especially when going back and back, it can get overwhelming because you find that, okay, my grandparents had all these kids and then their grandparents had all these kids, and it just can be a lot. So just having that database that can help you condense down your information and help organize your information is wonderful. So then with that being said, after you tap into that database, my next and final suggestion is finding a way to organize it. So that's where I am in my journey. I have wrote down all of my information from what I know. I've talked to my family members and tried to retrieve some information from them. I visited my local library, got some books, tapped into some other resources. I went online and used some online databases, and now I'm trying to find a better way to organize my information. So this is where I am in my journey. So what I decided to do was I actually brought a binder. This is the binder right here, and I got some protective sleeves. So like some page covers and some dividers. And my goal is to just print out all the information so I can have it in one location so that I can flip through. I actually went onto one of the databases, Ancestry.com and a few others, and they provide you with some free paper products to, store your information. So this first document I have is called Source Summary for Family Information. And this will allow me to keep track of where I'm getting my information from. So if I found some information on a local census, I can write that down when I found it, what type of information it was, and it will be all here. The second document that I'll be utilizing is this family group record. And this will just help paint that picture of, okay, who was the wife, who was the husband, and who's all their kids, what did they do when they were born, what did they do for a living. This just helps me organize the information. So that's my goal for right now. I'm gonna start with myself, my parents, their parents, and try to write down as much information as possible. And then I'll just, in my little booklet, I'll try to, find pictures, print out those census, those birth certificates, those death certificates, and try to find a better way to organize it. So yeah, I hope those tips was helpful, especially if you're starting your family tree journey, you're trying to record, you're trying to paint that picture. I'm just in the beginning stages, So I have a whole lot of work to do, but I'm so grateful for the research that I've done so far and how much I found. So with that being said, I hope that this has been helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video.